Eye on the Clarence.
Hello there, I'm John Edwards. I'm the Secretary of the Clarence Environment Centre near Grafton. This document I'm holding here is the Integrated Forest Operations Agreement signed by Forest New South Wales, and it is the code of practice basically for their operations within state forests. One of the objectives of the code is to achieve ecologically sustainable forest management. That is defined within the document as, and I'll quote, managing forests so that they are sustained in perpetuity for the benefit of society by ensuring the values of the forest are not lost or degraded for current and future generations. Now that is a fairly straightforward statement. However, over the past 4 or 5 years, we've become increasingly concerned at what is patently unsustainable practices. There is massive overlogging. Logging cycles are being reduced. We have found degradation of creeks and gullies with grazing cattle. We have found destruction of habitat trees. We have found destruction of threatened species habitat and a failure to recognize or identify the occurrence of threatened species. And just recently, we have been contacted by concerned residents at Billy's Creek near Clouds Creek State Forest, alerting us to some further damaging forest logging. That forest at Clouds Creek was subjected to what can only be described as an orgy of destruction back in 1998. That was just prior to the introduction of and signing of this agreement. And we've been up there to have a look at it, but first of all I'd like to introduce you to long-term resident of the area, Meredith Stanton.
This is compartment 70 in Clouds Creek State Forest, and this is an unmapped rainforest gully. It's not marked on any of the maps, and the local forester told me that he can map this and protect it from any logging activity, which means he can give it some sort of a buffer to give it protection into the future. There's actually nothing to stop these gullies being protected, except the demands of the market on the larger sized trees that tend to grow here. This is a really decent sized coachwood. It's got to be 80 or 90 centimetres at chest height. Somebody a bit taller than me. And the gully drops away here very steeply, and it runs down a really steep channel which is full of rainforest species. I'm not exactly sure how much of it is unmapped, but the CRA process ignored this gully and the protected rainforest species that grow in it. And I'd like Forest New South Wales to actually care about these gullies. They're logging very similar unmapped gullies throughout the compartments here, and for decades these trees and these sort of species have been logged, in fact, and now in 2009 I really think it's about time we started caring about our planet. We can't keep doing what we've always done. With climate change and the world's resources becoming, well, the world's resources are becoming extinct, which is basically why the economy is slowing down, and people in all over the planet are dying from starvation and desertification from deforestation. We've got to put a lot more value on these beautiful wet sclerophyll forests and the gullies that run right through them. These are our filter strips for our water supplies. This is the Clarence River filter system. This is what cleans our water. This is what cleans all the water for everybody on the coast at Grafton and all of those other places down there like Iluka. And this gully logging has got to stop. These gullies have got to be mapped, not just to appease residents who protest. I'm really happy this is going to be mapped, but I'm really unhappy that there's 50 other gullies very similar to this one that are having the trees removed right from the centre of them, and endangered frog species are just not even cared for or protected. It really sucks. It really sucks. I wish more people would speak up about it.
Thank you, Meredith, for speaking out. We hope that others will be prompted to follow your lead once they see what is actually happening in our state forests. It's March 2009. As we drive in, the results of just the beginning of logging at Clouds Creek are disturbing. What follows are a few examples of what we believe are ecologically unsustainable forest management practices. You'll see drainage lines that have been logged because of a failure to map them. An ancient habitat tree that has been wantonly cut down. Excessive canopy reduction leading to an explosion in the growth of vines, which in turn encourages bellbirds and the dieback that follows. Trees damaged by careless machine operators. A log dump containing pathetically small poles compared to the 2-metre diameter trees that once this forest contained. Destruction of habitat for an endangered frog species identified by local residents but initially missed by Forest New South Wales ecologists. And finally, an old-growth tree left to provide wildlife habitat standing isolated and vulnerable to wind and lightning. You're just coming down this hill. I mean, to me, it's quite obviously a gully here, and there should be an exclusion zone where no logging is allowed. And yet we see a number of trees that have been logged that are right inside the gully. To my mind, there's 1, 2, 3 there. And what it's done in opening up the canopy, I no doubt that the camera will pick up the speakers will pick up the bell miners in the background. There's an awful lot of canopy gone from this particular section, and presumably more to go when they come in and log the rest of this gully, which isn't mapped.